Today, we'll be focusing on the impacts of electric vehicles and combustion vehicles, since one of the most commonly asked questions is which car would have a smaller carbon footprint. One of the main topics brought up is the production of electric car batteries and the effects of battery production on the environment. They are much more harmful than gas vehicles. The initial environmental impact of production is greater for the electric car. The large electric battery is created out of lithium, and lithium has an extremely dangerous mining process which impacts the carbon footprint of production greatly due to the large amounts of greenhouse gases. The issue only becomes worse and worse since the demand for electric cars are only growing. It takes 8 to 10 metric tons of CO2 to produce an electric battery on average. This number varies since a small electric car production only produces 2 metric tons of CO2, but a larger and long-distance lithium battery could produce up to 17 metric tons of CO2. And the average combustion car production only takes 7 metric tons of CO2. The process of mining can affect local water supplies, potentially poisoning communities. The lithium carbonate extraction process harms the soil and can cause air pollution. Most of this supply comes from the salt plains of Atacama Desert near Chile, Bolivia, and Argentina. Lithium is a small component of the battery. It accounts for about 6%. Cobalt is the other main ore that is required for these batteries, and the recyclability of this battery is really harmful to the carbon footprint. The environmental impact of gas-powered cars go further than just production. The manufacturing of a combustion vehicle produces 7 metric tons of CO2, and this is a result of many different processes, such as mining the steel until the car is completely finished. But the reason there is much less CO2 produced in this process is because of the absence of lithium-ion batteries. Greenhouse gas emissions from a combustion or gas-powered car average around 5.2 metric tons of CO2 yearly, and during the entire lifespan of a car, it is stated to produce over 55 metric tons of CO2. The large reason behind this is due to the car using 500 gallons of gas per year. Vehicles are America's biggest air quality compromisers, producing about 1/3 of all US air pollution. The smog, carbon monoxide, and other toxins emitted by vehicles are especially troubling because they leave tailpipes at street level, where humans breathe the polluted air directly into their lungs, making auto emissions even more immediate health concerns. The shift away from gas vehicles towards electric cars is happening all over the world. More and more countries are pledging to pivot entirely towards electric car production and ownership. Electric cars are here to stay and are only going to become more efficient and cost effective versus their combustible counterparts. In conclusion, an average lifespan of a car with a combustion engine will produce around 57 metric tons of CO2, and over the same time, an electric car will produce 28 metric tons of CO2. Although electric vehicles cost more to produce, gas vehicles will end up having a greater carbon footprint over time. Production, recycling, and disposal costs to the environment are difficult to measure and largely beyond the control of most consumers. It's also true that most of an automobile's environmental impact, ranging from 80 to 90%, will be due to fuel consumption and emissions of air pollution and greenhouse gases that climate scientists say are driving global warming. Fortunately, the level of that impact is very much under control of the driver.